intro this time.
You.
It feels weird looking at a camera. Can you look at the camera? Oh no, we're gonna get exposed this episode.
Oh, we're not.
Welcome back to Date Night In podcast. My name is Ariel.
And I'm Jordii.
And yeah, we're back for another episode.
After
Last week,
a week break?
yeah, just 1 week.
Yeah.
Life gets a little busy, you know.
Honestly, it's not even just the fact that it was busy. It's just like, it was a weird week. It was a short week and then it was just weird.
Yeah, I don't even remember what happened.
Yeah.
Because
So much happens nowadays. It's
my short-term memory is very short. So, there you go. I don't even know. You miss 1 week and I don't even know what to do anymore.
literally, mostly it's just like, at least this week's ending. Tomorrow's Friday, thankfully.
Yes. So, if you guys don't know, we film on Thursdays.
Yeah.
And we put out our podcast on Sunday.
Yeah.
We used to put a time frame now, but, you know, it just doesn't come out on time all the time because we have church, we have...
It's not even the fact that it comes out on time. I think just putting it up Sunday instead of a time, because it's not really a TV show.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go. So, we just want to thank you guys for the continued support for our podcast. We love all the feedback and all the sweet messages, and yeah, it really helps to keep us going.
Right. And also, it's like, it gives an insight to who we reach out to, like who we're actually making connections with.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We figured we owe you guys a
visual concept.
yeah. This is something different. We'll see if it works out. If not, then you might just hear us on the podcast just listening. But we'll try our best to put out a video here.
Right.
We're filming on the phone.
Right.
Yeah, we're only getting better every week, so it's nice. We'll be able to see our progress throughout the few episodes that we'll have.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah. I don't really know what else to say. How was your week? I had a massage today.
Aren't you feeling relaxed?
And it was really, really nice. Lady was going in on my neck.
Why your neck?
Because there's a lot of tension there. When you're working, like you're looking down, you know, and then yeah, she went in and then on my like arms, shoulders, yeah.
Wish I could say the same. I don't get massages.
This is just a PSA out there if anybody is like working. I know it's not as common, but if you have medical benefits and health benefits,
Use them.
use that.
Unless they're a headache from your company, you just don't really get them.
Because my dad always tells me, you waste money if you don't use them up.
Yeah, because it's
right. Like the company doesn't gain anything if you don't use them,
and they're not paid out either. So
and they're not paid out. So yeah. Just use them.
Pretty much.
Use your benefits.
Right.
Go to the dentist. Book that dental appointment, okay?
Literally.
Your halitosis is, you know.
Unless you want to invest in like
Acting up.
invest in a water pick. Very, very useful investment if you ask me. So.
A water pick. Yeah. That scares me though.
Really?
I've seen Jordan use it. It's a little freaky.
It's fun. I actually use it just for like hot habit now, essentially.
Yeah, I keep looking at myself over there. Our screen's over there. So that's why I keep looking at myself over there. But, yeah. What else happened this week? Or last week? The past 2 weeks we've been gone.
Really? I can't talk about work stuff because people won't get it. So.
Yeah, no.
It's. All I'm saying is that if you're planning to travel this spring, I can't talk, jeez.
Yeah.
You're planning to travel this spring, just keep alert to the airways.
Tread lightly.
Things are happening that
Travel
I can't
at your
talk
own
about.
risk.
Yeah. Things are happening that I can't talk about within, like, the industry, and it's gonna get pretty ugly the next couple of months, the next year or so. So, I don't know what that means specifically, but I'm just saying, just be mindful what's going on because it's not going to be smooth.
That's just a little PSA from Jordan because he gets the first, knowledge of anything travel-wise and aviation-wise.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's a lot. I can't talk about it because it's people either they won't understand, but I also just like by contract nature you can't talk about it like that.
Yeah.
More will be released as time goes on by the right people, but I'm not a news outlet for that. But I'm just giving a warning, like be mindful when you're traveling and don't do anything crazy and be smart and prepared.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you should always be smart
You
when
should.
it comes to traveling.
There are those people that aren't smart when they're traveling. We won't get into that, but I mean,
I feel like as I've gotten older, I don't want to cheap out on things.
no, you shouldn't.
I know, but when you're younger, you're like, oh yeah, we could just all stay together, bunk together, and
Yeah, and then
we
you
can do connecting flights.
and then you see the problems that come with that.
Babe, I'm trying to talk here.
I'm just saying.
And then you see the problem, and then that's where it's going wrong. That's you. Every single sentence I say.
It's called support.
You just don't want to forget what you're saying, so
know.
you say it right away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
got
mind
it.
be running at 1,000 miles a minute sometimes. Anyways, sorry to disturb you.
Now I forgot what I was gonna say.
Something
But
about staying
when
in
you're
the
getting
room, all
old,
that.
yeah, like when you're older, you don't want to you don't want to cheap out. You want to stay at a nice hotel, your own room, your own bathroom, no connecting flights. I want a direct flight, nonstop. Like first class and stuff. That's I'm still a little cheap out on that, but yeah, connecting flights are so stressful. I feel.
Connecting flight, it's only stressful if you're not. This is what I'm about to say. It's kind of controversial. If you don't like connecting flights, it's not for the faint of heart because there's a lot that goes into it, especially for anyone that works in the industry, standby travel, not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
Because it is, if you're not able to think on your feet and make snap decisions, it's not for you because you will experience that one way or another. But as Ariel said, you do want to experience those first class here and there. I recommend first class if you go on a very far distance, going very
Then it will be way more expensive.
yeah, but it's worth it.
What I'm trying to say is I don't need to be that bougie where I need to do first class everywhere.
Oh no.
But at least a little bit of comfortability, a hotel, my own room. I don't have to clean up after myself, you know what I mean? It's a vacation. Just treat it as a vacation.
Right. No Airbnbs, unless it's really no other option. But there is Verbo, but at the same time, Airbnb be scamming nowadays.
I don't like Airbnb. I never, if you have to, you have to, but how are you going to charge $450 for a cleaning fee? And you're telling me to take out the garbage?
It's if I'm paying that much, you might as well have a maid or a butler on hand.
It'd be cleaning fee, $450. Make sure the dishes are all in the dishwasher. Make sure the garbage is by the front door. Make sure every furniture is put back the way it was. So where is that $450 going?
Nowhere.
I can guarantee you're the only person that cleans the house, so you're not hiring anybody.
It's going to their pockets. If you do think about, I don't know, offering such a service, you're going to be okay, hire a butler, hire a maid. Or you have a cleaning company on standby, ready to come and do the cleaning for you. But
it's not even that much anyways.
Right. It's not. Except in the States for those scam houses where you see $700 cleaning fee
And it's
if you
actually
add an extra person.
Yeah, it's so hard to try to get your money back with Airbnb.
Oh,
It's
yeah. It's nuts. I'll give an example from when I tried to book an Airbnb for a weekend. Plans ended up changing, so I needed it the following weekend. However, I only got back the cleaning fee, not the booking fee. So it cost $180. I only got back $60.
Meanwhile, at a hotel, you just call about one little problem and they'll come running.
Right.
Like, that's the type of treatment I want. I want, like, if I want an extra pillow, it's there in 30 seconds.
Right.
If I want, you know, and somebody makes your bed every day. Sounds like good. Fresh towels every day.
Oh, yeah. Especially if we go to, like, all-inclusive resorts that do that for you.
Oh, yeah.
It is amazing. By far. We've experienced that already.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else can you say? Traveling's great. Just make sure you travel smart. Don't travel with loose ends. Make sure you have everything, like, planned out.
I hope you guys didn't hear my dad sneezing. This house is loud.
Sure.
Filipino household.
Could be worse.
Anyways, should we go into our topic this week?
What is our topic this week?
So, I didn't gonna get you to read that. The topic from your friend. I don't know how to say your name. Christiane?
Perfect. There you go.
Christiane. But you call her something else.
Well, we call her Chun, but that's like if you know her for a while.
Okay.
I mean, she doesn't mind if you use it. But...
Anyways, she reached out to her Instagram, and she was just giving us some feedback. And she mentioned that she wanted to get to know us more on a personal level.
Right.
So, yeah, like, she put examples of, like, a topic of, like...
So the example she put in would be, would you both be down to have stories on past relationships / dates gone wrong?
So...
I'm not against it, to be honest.
Yeah. I mentioned it to you, and you were like, oh.
I ain't protecting nobody, so it's like...
I mean, and she also mentions, like, she wants us to... Did I already say that?
Yeah,
she wants to get to know us on a personal level.
Right.
And I feel like we haven't really been personal with the listeners. Oh my gosh.
I mean, we just started, so, like, it could be worse.
Yeah, but, you know, I think that's a very good idea, that topic. Or, you know, so we can start to go into the personal and getting to know us.
But it's also, we don't have to give out every story in one episode.
No.
We can, like, space it out. One episode, we give 2.
Our screen timed out, so that's okay.
Problem with AirPlay, Apple's the one thing you need to fix.
All right. So, what should we start with next? What should we start with first?
So, you're getting to know each other or a juicy story to eventually get to know
Story
each other?
time. Should we do a story time of, like... What about, like, how we started?
How we started, or, like, a bad date from our past, then how we started?
We could start off with, like, past relationships.
Right.
So, oh my gosh, if my family watches this, they don't know any of this. So, I'll just keep it a secret. I'm not even allowed to have any boyfriends. To their knowledge, Jordan was my first boyfriend, so... It's still true. So, take this with a grain of salt.
Take this with a grain of salt. Oh, God.
When I was younger, I didn't have any boyfriends. Like, in high school, no boyfriends. I had crushes. I think I mentioned this before, but I had no boyfriends. I had a few, like, crushes. I had a crush for all 3 years of my high school. And then, finally, last year... Yeah, no boyfriends. And then when I was 19, I met this guy, my first boyfriend, and it was literally just like nothing. It was just boring.
Does it count as a boyfriend if y'all don't really do anything at all?
Well, he took me to a concert.
Wow, a date.
That was the first, maybe that was like the second date, but yeah, he took me to the Migos. Oh no, it was a Drake concert with like Future.
Oh.
No, Drake wasn't there. Future with like Migos.
Oh, he took you to a Toxic concert.
And I remember, I was with this guy, and then people I knew was at the concert. too, like a few seats back. And I was like, oh my gosh. I hate it when I date somebody and then I get seen in public. I don't know why. It's not a problem, but
Exclusivity is something you want to build up to.
yeah, like I really like the exclusive, like nobody knows what. I just like, not even because I want to like hide them, it's because I just want to be private.
You want to get to know the person first before everyone else does.
Yeah. So nothing really happened. He worked out of town. I remember though, he sent me flowers to my house.
Right.
And then they were white flowers,
Huh.
right? And then I was trying to bring them in and hide them from my mom, but my mom was right at the door because our living room in our house is right beside the front entrance. So I took these flowers and I tried to like say like, oh, somebody dropped these off at the door. And I tried to, I played it out so badly because my mom was like, she's a Filipino mom, so she's very superstitious and she's very like symbolism type of thing. She's like, huh? Why? Who? Those are white flowers. Why? Did somebody die? Da, 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 da. Like white flowers apparently mean like if somebody's passed or something. I don't know.
It's a color that you would present at a funeral because black flowers just don't exist, essentially.
I guess so. I had no idea. And that was my first time ever getting flowers. And literally traumatized. Because my mom was like, who would send my flowers like that to our house? Do they know? Da, da, da. And then she was like, and I was like, oh my God. So any type of flowers I ever gotten, I pretty much hid.
Right.
Because I was like, oh no, I'm not going through that again. And then I went to the Philippines for like, this was my first boyfriend, but I went to the Philippines for like a month. And I come back and we hang out. This is when my toxicness started, I think. Or not toxicness trait, but just like when I started to develop that intuition, you know, because I never known what it felt like to be like cheated on. I don't even know if you cheated on. I don't know. I never know.
Right.
I'm the type of girl that's like, we're not together until you say the words like, will you be my girlfriend? We're not together. I'm that type of girl, right? So literally, I think it was before I left for the Philippines. He asked me, and then when I came back, so at this point we were boyfriend and girlfriend. When I came back, I hang out with him, and literally when he went to go like to the bathroom, because we were watching something on his computer, and you know how there's iMessage? There's iMessage on the MacBook. So he was like, oh, I'll be right back. Left his laptop open. So why wouldn't I go peep and check? So it turns out he was like messaging like two girls, like, hey beautiful, or when are we gonna hang out? This was while I was in the Philippines. And I get it, I was gone for a while, but dang. And one of the other messages I saw, he was in a hotel room with two girls. I mean, maybe they didn't do anything. Maybe they just went out. But
him and two women, and that's it in a hotel.
Somebody took the picture. Somebody took the picture of them sitting all together in a
hotel room.
Yeah, hotel room.
Okay, so it's two guys and two girls.
Yes, I don't know what happened.
So something went down in that room.
And like I remember at that moment, my cheeks. That's how I know when I'm starting to have like I'm gonna start to panic. My cheeks will start burning up, and I was like I didn't know how to feel. I was like, oh my gosh, like what? Like this is my first ever boyfriend. Like how do I even deal with this?
Right.
And yeah, my cheeks started going red, and I obviously start like welling up. And then he comes back, and he just sees me like, so he didn't notice at first, but he just sees me like all reserved and stuff, and I'm just quiet, right? Because I'm not a confrontational type of girl. And he's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "What's this?" And I literally show him, and then his first response is like, "Well, why would you go through my computer?" I'm like, wrong answer.
It's not the fact that she went through; it's the fact that you left it unlocked.
Yeah. So did you want me to see it? Like,
it's like if you were smarter with
so
your
I was
stuff.
like, so we started fighting, right? We're like, well, I'm like, well, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. Like,
right.
And mind you, I was at his place, and I had no way of getting home because he was my ride. He picked me up. So I called TJ, my friend TJ, one of my best friends. I was like, you need to pick me up right now. You need to come right now. She's seen one or two situations where she's had to come and get me and take me out of things, you know. I don't even know if she'll remember this story but she comes and gets me, and I don't remember much after that. I think obviously we broke up because I'm not gonna stand for that shit. But that was my first ever, like, that's when the trust issues began. Like, I didn't physically catch them doing anything, but the fact of them. Oh, I remember we had this big argument of like, we're just talking. It's not cheating if we're just talking. That's where it started. I'm like, is it cheating if it's just talking and we didn't do anything?
Well, did he ask you to be his girlfriend?
Yeah.
Then it's cheating.
So that was when that big argument came. And yeah, I don't remember much. I remember, because I was obviously young, I remember, you know, when he texted me, I still responded and stuff. Because I was like, it was my first ever boyfriend. Like, you had that connection. But it took a while for me to just stop all the contact with him. Because, yeah.
No,
It was kind of like first
young.
one type of deal. And
Right.
yeah. But it was nothing like deep. Like, we never even said I love you to each other. Like, it was just, yeah, I just didn't know how to react to that type of deal. I knew that it happened to other people. Like, I knew cheating wasn't new. But the fact that, like, it actually happened to me, I was stunned. I was like...
Well, you never expected it to happen to you.
Yeah. So, that was my first experience with a boyfriend. If anybody asked, Jordan was my only boyfriend. But yeah, that was my first ever experience.
I've only ever dated, so you're my first, just to let you know.
Yeah, Jordan tells me that I'm his first girlfriend.
I am.
But I don't believe it.
It's true.
You're much older than me, so.
I got witnesses. Like, people that know me, they know I did not have, like, any, like, I'm gonna sound like a hoe for this, oh boy. So, high school, I didn't date nobody. That was a given. I was not dating anyone at my school, because it was weird. Like, no offense to some people, but people were just nice people at my school. But there was no interest in me going out there to see anybody. It's like, I'll be friends with you, great, but dating, nah.
Yeah.
My mom was like, get home before the streetlights come on, or you got night class, and then you come home and night class, like, it's a long story. It's just all, it didn't make any sense at the time. So now, I get to college. College in the States was different, because the same thing in America, it was like, oh, great, yeah, there's girls, but it wasn't the whole, like, oh, there's girls to, like, go on dates. It's girls that's, like, they're just there.
Yeah.
So you're just like, okay, great. Me and my friends, we would, like, go out, or we hang out on campus, and we just chill in the dorm. Like, literally, I kid you not, I could count on my hands how many times I talked to a girl at that school versus me chilling in the dorm. Because you just don't have anything to do. And there's too many rules. There's way too many rules when it came to, like, protecting the women down there. So it's like, yeah, you can't really do anything at all. Trust me, security, like, literally sits in front of the dorm. You can't do anything
Well, I know
at all.
what college kids are be up to, but do you remember any, like, significant stories of you taking out somebody and then crazy story. No?
Crazy story. If I had to get like in depth with it, kind of my mom, my sister gonna listen to this, so I'm gonna get stoned at some point.
I know.
But,
That's why disclaimer. I've only been with Jordan and nobody else.
so like, disclaim like that's I don't have to give a disclaimer. You're my first girlfriend. That's the truth. I take that to the grave. It's more when it came to dating. The first actual like legit date came when I was in college, and that's when I first came back to Ontario. Because I went to school in different places first, but then those were issues, in a sense. Second one was issues, which led to a whole bunch of issues, and then come back to Ontario. That school, that place, I got misunderstood for dating people. So, the problem with that was when you're like one of the only black guys in the entire school at the time, because it's like there's a lot of girls that went to that campus, but a lot of the guys that went to that campus as well were white. So it's like whites, Asians, and then there was like 4 black guys. So you're only gonna know who the guys are.
Yeah.
I couldn't walk anywhere or hang out anywhere without people assuming I was dating one of the girls sitting at the table. Every time. If I was sitting in a lounge talking to one, it's like,
Okay, but just tell a story.
A story?
About a date. Who cares about who thought you were... I mean, I care, but... The point is, tell a story of like...
What?
Somebody you took out and then it didn't work out or some crazy happened or something.
So... Okay, I got one. So, there's one girl that was through a dating app. What else are you gonna do? Young.
I'm a Tinder veteran.
Right. So
people know that.
So I'm at work, and I match with this girl while I'm at work. So I'm like, cool, great. Say hello. She says hello. You talk. That's it. Nothing crazy. Then, as my shift was starting to end, I was talking to her more because like, okay, my shift's almost done. I have to focus at work. And all I remember was me just straight up asking, let me take you out. And that was it. She's like, yeah, sure. So we planned a date. I pick her up. It didn't start out bad, but it didn't start how I expected. Because one, she wanted me to pick her up, which is fine. I have a car. I'll pick you up. No big issue. The problem was where she lived. Because where she lived in a condo, but the condos are in the northeast end of the city, and getting to that place, especially at rush hour, it's just ridiculously hard. So I was 15 minutes late. She didn't say anything about it. However, I know she was judging me because she wouldn't look me directly in my eye when she first got into the car. One thing.
Or you're just shy.
Nah, because the conversation leading up to that, there's no way you can be shy about some when you're like cussing stuff and everything like that in conversations, and you don't even know the person like that.
Yeah.
So then we go downtown. We get to the restaurant. She's like, "Oh, I actually work around here." Well, I wish I knew that, so I want to bring you close to your job. So pretty much, it was just comment after comment after comment after comment that kept coming up, and I'm like, I'm not gonna make a big deal of it. It's whatever. Go in the restaurant, sit down, we're talking. Think it's all fine, right? Her phone is buzzing like crazy the entire time, though. Like, non-stop buzzing. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, either you in a group chat, or your friends don't care that you're out, or you just have a bunch of people messaging you. Whichever one it is, what it is. The bill comes. The bill's not that bad. I offer to pay. She's like, no, I'll pay. I'm like, no, I'm paying. That's not at the time, I'm not one of those that thinks women need to pay, but it's like, it's the first date. I asked you out. I asked you for your time. Period. I'm going to pay for it.
Period.
So then, as we're leaving, she's asking me, so what are you going to do next? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm taking you home, then I'm going home. She's like, oh, you're not going to, like, stay the night or come inside? I'm like, huh?
Stay the night?
I'm like, stay the night.
She was trying to kill you.
Like,
she was trying to rob you, babe.
She lives in a condo in the northeast end. Very nice building. Like, very nice modern condo.
Okay.
She's like, she lives by herself. And I'm thinking to myself, you're inviting me into your condo. I don't even know you like that. One thing about me is that I don't hit on first dates. So, next thing you know, drop her off, and she's like, you're really not coming inside? And I'm like, no, I'm dropping you off and I'm going home. I'll give you a hug though, but then I'm out. So then...
He said, I'm going to give you a hug though.
Right. So she gets out of the car, I get out, give her a hug. She takes my phone. Like, she takes my phone out of my pocket.
Huh?
Yeah, she takes my phone out of my pocket and then goes inside, and I'm just there like in my car, like, where the hell's my phone? So I look inside, and she's going like this with my phone.
What the hell?
So I'm like, there's no absolute way you're forcing me to come inside and you're doing it with my phone. So go inside. I park my car first. I'm not trying to get towed. And then I go inside, and I'm like, give me my phone. I have to go. I have work tomorrow. Like, for real. She's like, no, like, just stay and hang out a bit. I'm like, why do you want me to stay so bad? You a loner or something like that? She's like, I live here by myself, remember? It's like, I just need some company. I'm like, that's...
She's trying to smash.
I was like, okay. So I go inside. She's like, you want tea, coffee, juice? I'm like, I'm good with tea. She's like, all right. Makes me a cup of tea. I kid you not. I took 2 sips of tea. The room got dizzy.
She roofied you?
I don't know. All I know is that I got dizzy.
Bruh.
I finished the tea.
How old was this girl?
She's like the same age as me.
At the time?
Yeah.
Which was?
I was about 21 at the time.
Dang, she's already roofing guys?
I don't know. She was roofing.
That's crazy.
I got dizzy after the tea. I think it was like some kind of sleepy tea or something like that.
Bruh.
So then I ended up like closing my eyes in and out of sleep. And then I woke up and she's like sitting there on the couch just looking at me, just staring. And I'm like...
This is some Jeffrey Dahmer stuff.
So I'm looking at her, I was like, what time is it? She's like, oh, it's about 1 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, I gotta go. She's like, no, you should just sleep here. Like, you look very tired. I'm like, no, I'm leaving. Like, I'm out of here. This girl's
creep.
So I get my phone, get my jacket, get in the car, go home. And the first thing I do is call my boy, God rest his soul. I'm like, dude, are you up? He's like, yeah, man, I'm up. What's up? I'm like, bro, I think I just got try to get kidnapped or something. I don't know. Telling him the whole
That's not
ordeal.
funny, but
so my gosh. I get home, park my car, go inside, go in my room, block her on everything.
Yeah. And
then leave it at that. I go to work the next day. Tell me why there's an airport security guard coming to the office mid-shift telling me, hey, we're looking for like a Jordan that lives here, that works here, something like that. I'm like, there's like 4 Jordans in this department at the time that I'm working. And I'm like, I'm hoping to God it's not me. I didn't do anything.
Airport security?
Airport security.
Oh, she came to find you.
She came to the airport to look for me. And I was like...
Oh, my.
What?
Thankfully, I've never had anybody that crazy.
So, no one answered.
Actually, I lied. But I'll take that later.
Like, no one answered. And they're like, alright, just let them know there's no one named Jordan that works here. So, yeah, they left. I had to take the back way to go all the way around to my car just so I could leave, because I was nervous. Like, I hope she's not like looking for me for real, because that's actually kind of scary. I didn't even tell her what department I worked, what company I worked for. I said I work at the airport.
My God!
I'm not gonna give up people like, oh, you work for an airline, that's great. No, I'm not giving you the whole thing yet, because I'm like, I was smart at the time. So that happened. Then I remember I had a scare when I was literally wrapping up my shift. My phone went off, and I'm like, it was just this random message that said I'm pregnant, and I was like, huh?
Uh-oh.
So I'm like, there's no good way. No.
Are you sure?
So the message is like, wow, I'm just going to ignore someone. I'm like, are you looking for somebody in particular? They're like, yeah, I'm looking for somebody. I'm like, who are you looking for? Because I have no idea what's going on here. It's like, wow, replaying unknowing of who I am.
That's how you gonna act?
It's like, you gonna act like that after we hung out all weekend? I'm like, oh, weekend, it's freaking Thursday. What are you talking about? So Next thing you know, so now in my mind, I'm like, it's not the girl. It's some random. Because my number back then was so basic, you could literally give it out as a fake number. And I'll even, like, people were literally telling me my number could be a fake number whenever I'll give it out. So then, the person, I call that number, don't know the person. They're like, they don't know who I am. I'm like, yeah, someone gave you my number just so that they don't have to deal with you. So,
jeez.
Sorry. But, yeah. That whole 2-day ordeal was just ridiculous. I could not. I didn't date again after that for like 3 months.
Yeah.
Deleted everything. Even deleted the dating app as well. I'm like, I need a break.
Was it mostly like women didn't really like follow through, or they ghosted, or you just didn't like any of them?
Nothing stuck.
Nothing stuck, okay?
It was like, oh, you talk, great, but nothing stuck. Like, not to brag about or anything like that. Like, I had a lot of matches, but nothing would stick. It was all just like, hey, and then, like, literally all they wanted to do was fuck, and that was it. And I'm like, I'm not really here for that, but I'm not gonna...
I remember being 17 and being on Tinder. I was like... no, I was not 17. I was 18. I was one of the first people that turned 18 in high school. I was like those late people. Mm-hmm. Skipped a grade or didn't skip a grade or whatever. And I was like, these people, like, my innocence was, like, taken away. Because, like, the things people do on that app.
It's gross. It's nuts.
It's just, huh?
It's insane.
And, yeah, so...
That's why you just learn just not to take it serious at all.
No,
and
never.
Like,
never. Don't come out of there. People have found husbands and things out in those apps.
And kudos to them.
Just
no.
Tinder is just a little scary to me. There's a lot more ones that I think I prefer. Mm-hmm. Like, actually, I only liked one, which was Hinge.
Right.
Because you can actually see people who liked you, and then you can decide if you like them back.
Very true.
Anyways.
Yeah, that was it?
That's it?
Should we tell more or no? I don't know. That story gave me flashbacks, so I'm kind of just like, ugh.
Okay. We should tell our story.
Yeah, we can tell ours.
So... we met at the airport, but before that, we met on Hinge.
Right. It wasn't like Hinge was where it all initiated. Essentially, it's like she worked at the airport, I worked for the airline.
Yeah.
And then it just went from there.
Yeah.
We didn't exchange numbers initially.
Coincidentally, we both worked at the airport.
Right.
For an airline, so.
We didn't change numbers initially, though. First, it was social media. Just to be like... safe.
Yeah, because you never know what people be doing with your phone numbers. I'm really skeptical about those things.
Who was the one that asked for the social media, me or you?
It was. I was like, well, are you going to ask? Because we had just been talking, and then we're like, well, are you going to ask for my number or something? Like, are you going to make some moves? I remember saying that.
Right. I was like, no, I'll wait, I'll ask for your Instagram instead. And then I got your number after a week on Instagram.
And then you were in Calgary.
Yeah.
And I had COVID. I remember because it was New Year's. Mm-hmm. I had COVID. And you and I just started talking, like, all the time.
Yeah.
Because I was always home.
It's like you're just locked in your room. You can't do anything.
So, yeah, you and I were just talking.
But I was making
for, like, a month or so.
I was making time for her, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, making sure that she wasn't lonely or anything like that. Making sure she had, like, something to talk about, something to do. Because I've had COVID. It's boring. Like, pretty sad, to be honest. It's depressing. So, seeing that I've already been through that, you know, I'm not going to let you go through that, even though I just, like, met you. It's like, kind of felt a little obligation just to, like, make sure that you're okay.
Which is nice, you know. At that time, I had just gotten out of, like, not really, like, a relationship, but, like, a situationship.
That was a weird one that you told me
Which is another story time I may or may not tell.
You told me about that one. Doesn't count as a relationship. That just counts as just... Nah.
situationship is the word for that.
It doesn't even qualify for situation. It's just meh.
And yeah, going back to our story about how we met, a month later, Jordan flies in. He spends the weekend here. We hang out. Our first date was at All You Can Eat Sushi.
Right.
I was gonna ask, like, the first time we went, that was really a test, because if he liked sushi or not, because that was gonna be a deal breaker for me.
Right.
Because I love sushi. Yeah, that was just a deal breaker if he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, I love sushi. I love all you can eat sushi. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's when I fell in love for real.
Yeah. It's like, shout out to like my homegirl Maria, went to Kaka all the time in Toronto, so she knows
I love
that
Kaka.
I'm like. Let me tell you the funny story about that one. She's gonna laugh when she hears this. We went to All You Can Eat Sushi and ate almost $300 worth between us two. We were just friends
But
at the
all
time.
you can eat is one fee, no?
It's one fee, but then if you add up
all the specialty,
yeah, because
the drinks,
they had an a la carte menu as well, so you can tell what you're ordering as well. And we saw the menu and we added it all up, and we're just like, oh my god,
worth it.
Mind you, we both worked for an airline in Ontario. When we were both in Ontario, so we're like good friends. We still are to this day. It's just so funny thinking about that, because when she's like, I hope you like sushi, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
I love sushi.
I love sushi, but I'm like,
So yeah, we watched a movie and just hung out all weekend.
I still remember it. We went to sushi, watched Spider-Man, and then you took me around town.
Yeah, and then I brought him to Korean barbecue.
Mm-hmm. Went to the mall,
and we got caught at the mall by one of my friends. Mm-hmm. That was literally like our first date, and we got caught. And I was like. Jordan was like, somebody's calling you, and I turned around. It's like one of my really good friends. And I'm like, I don't know you. Like literally, I'd be getting caught in 4K all the time. All the time.
It's actually kind of funny.
This is why I like to say things exclusive. Okay. Right.
But you had an appointment as well. That weekend.
Yeah. Also.
That's kind of funny.
I forgot that I had a therapy appointment. It was a virtual therapy appointment on like the weekend that we were hanging out.
Right.
And so, Jordan came to my therapy appointment with me. He just sat in the car with me.
Right. It was actually wasn't that bad. For like a therapy appointment. Yeah, it was pretty basic.
So is this how you imagine your first date doing?
I've been through crazy. I've already told you one crazy story. So all in all, it's just like it was fine for me. And then flying home was like kind of bittersweet. Well, not even bittersweet. It was very like sad going back.
Yeah, because we had gotten very, very close in that month. We talked for about a month before we started dating. Yeah. Which for some people might think like, oh, that's way too soon.
Some people think it's too soon. Some people think it's too long.
Too long. Yeah.
Like, but it's more like we established grounds.
It's because we had been literally I'm sure everybody knows, back in the pandemic peak times, like, it was pretty lonely. And you didn't, like, hang out with anybody. You only hung out with close people. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we had been talking every day and just gotten really, really close. And then, yeah, a month later, I was like, yeah. Mm-hmm. He had to ask also.
Yeah, which I did.
I'm not assuming. I'm not an assuming.
Right. I did ask.
Because you make an ass.
My thing was like...
You and me.
I didn't, like... I've told her this. I didn't see anybody date anyone, anything since,
for 2 years.
Yeah, 2.5 years, pretty much. Because it's like, for me, that's like when I said in a couple of podcasts earlier, 2020, I started to regress and like pull back myself from public. Not because it was like, oh, COVID and all this stuff. That had a part of it. But I really started to hone in on my career. Like, just focusing on like, what do I want to do? How am I going to get it all done and everything? And the certain goal that I had. That did take a hit to social life. And that also took a hit to, like, you know, possible dates. But did I care? No. Because at some point you're going to meet the person that's meant for you, which I did.
And you had just moved into a new city, so you were a little bit more outgoing, I think.
Yeah. So I'm like, now that I've met my person, it's like there was no need for me to like do anything else. It's like I'm comfortable, I'm happy.
So, also, I think it was in February that we had been doing long distance. We did long distance for about 3 months, right?
Yeah.
January, February, March, April,
May.
May. 4 months we did long distance, and it was like tough. It was really tough. I remember Jordan came out here to meet my parents, and then so me and Jordan planned a trip to LA.
That was interesting.
Because I had been inside for too long, okay?
Right.
And as soon as somebody asked, like, yo, let's go here, and Jordan was literally that only person that was like, let's do it. And I was like, bet. So yeah, I was like, okay, we'll just yeah, literally a month before we left for LA, that's when I told my parents.
Right.
And they literally just met Jordan.
Right.
So I can imagine it was a headache for them.
Oh yeah. Couldn't
Sorry,
agree.
Mom and Dad.
Couldn't agree. Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Nai and Tai.
But it was like, all in all, it was just like, you want to go to, you were telling me how much you just wanted to like get out and stuff.
Yeah,
like
I had been fiending for a vacation.
you've been
man.
working for like, what, 2 straight years?
Yeah.
You didn't really get to do anything unless it was like family oriented and stuff like that. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just use these benefits and let's go.
Yeah.
So I just booked us our flight to LA.
Yeah. And nobody even knew. Like, none of my friends knew who I was dating. Like, they knew I was dating somebody, but... And then I just pull up, in LA with this random guy. Not really random. Like, obviously,
But you do your best to make it like memorable. It's its
Yeah.
first memory. So like,
So, the first year of our relationship, we were traveling a lot.
we were on a plane.
We went to
at least once a
Vancouver
month.
in February. March, we went to LA.
Yep.
April, I came out to Calgary.
June we went to. No, May I moved.
Yeah, you moved out here
Yeah.
in May, so it was kind of like busy. And then June, we went to Cabo. July, I went to the Philippines. You were working.
Yeah. And then
August, we went back to Vancouver. September, nothing, because I started my new job.
Yep.
October, we went to Vancouver.
Again.
We went to Vancouver like literally 5
It's, like,
times
right
last year.
there.
And then November,
It was your
nowhere.
birthday.
It was my birthday. I planned a big birthday party.
Yeah.
December, we went to Cancun.
Yeah.
So it was literally like
Up and down.
Yeah, and then I think this year, the next year of our relationship after the 1 year, I think we're just sort of like slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so
Even though we're flying out like next week, which is wild.
yeah, the reason, like, what's different about you over everybody else that I've dated is just your passion. Like, I don't know, it's not even just that. You're respectful, which
Patient.
and patient, and those two seem like the bare minimum. But honestly, out here in these streets, it's very, very hard to find. So those were the top 2 things, and the top 3, and like they're not in order, but the biggest one is that you believe in God. Mm-hmm. Like you share the same. You share the same. Straighten up, bro.
That was funny. He just got scared by the mic.
And you share the same like spirituality as me and faith as me, which is a big deal because and like everything has just been so not easy, but it just feels like I'm supposed to be doing this.
Right. Same thing
Right?
for me. It's that you have a big heart. You're very forthcoming. You're also very, very open to like, vulnerability and accountability, which is something that you don't see every day from people.
Yeah.
And nothing's easy. Like, everyone has their flaws, everyone has their things to work on, but you're willing to work on those things. You're willing to be, like, recognizing those stuff. And that's something that you don't see, especially in Toronto. You don't get that at all. People in Toronto know that for sure. You will not
I feel
find
like
that
a
there.
lot of people it's really common now to just conform.
Yeah. Like, instead of being your own individual person and then explore each individual as a couple.
And self-awareness is very lacking
Yeah.
in a lot
that's
of the people nowadays. And this is a whole nother
a lot of
episode,
impatience.
but just, like, I had to go through that. I think God really made me go through that before I could find you. Right? Because if I had met you 2 years ago, or even like a year and a half ago, no, if I had met you maybe in 2020 or 2019, a way different person than I am now.
Yeah.
So.
Because we both went through that whole, we didn't see anyone do anything just to, like, find ourselves and, like, figure ourselves out. Then, like, that was me.
I'm not gonna lie, I was like,
well, you still allowed, you're allowed to do what you want. But, like,
I wasn't really in a relationship.
I didn't see anyone do anything until you.
I didn't, like, honestly, I didn't.
Me neither.
It was mostly, like, tings.
I didn't do anything.
Who says that? Tings? Ew.
I didn't do anything at all. Like, nothing.
Yeah.
Complete dormancy. And that's only because I was really focusing on myself. Because I want to be a better version of myself for someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I feel like we really needed to go through that to find each other. And I feel like, not everything's perfect, and I'm not expecting things to be perfect, but there's just that feeling you have where it's like, I think we're on the right track. Mm-hmm. You're not scared about marriage when I bring it up. Like, in fact, you're probably more excited about that part than I was. Obviously, before I met you, I was a little bit, like, skeptical about marriage.
Right.
It's like, the whole marriage plus you're gonna get divorced after 3 months thing was not it for me.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's the thing.
When you find the right, sorry, I'm talking a lot in this episode.
No, it's fine.
Sorry.
You're good.
When you find the right person, you just start to, like, soften up those areas of your life where
you start to recognize the value in those areas when you find the actual right person.
Yeah.
Because even for me, my mom keeps telling me, you have cold feet. I'm like, no, I like getting my ducks in a row first. It's a difference. So.
Because marriage is a whole nother episode. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that next episode.
Right.
Because we're going through that marriage talk now. Right. We're getting it from our parents, which is weird. My parents went from, like, no dating to get married. Like, literally in a matter of months.
My mom went from focus on your career and get through school to all of a sudden now it's like, so why haven't you done anything yet?
Literally. Like, my dad sat me down and was like, so are you guys just playing around? Like, what is this dating thing? Are you just playing around? Are you planning to get married? What year? What year are you going to get married?
No, my mom.
Like, I'm just trying to eat dinner.
My grandma was just like, I hope you're not here wasting women's time. You're a very good looking man, and I don't like when good looking men waste people. I was like, Grandma, you're not even in the country. Zip it. Like,
shout out Grandma Rose.
Oh my gosh. Like, you don't live in this country talking about, oh, don't waste time. Come to the wedding then. Jeez. Or give me money. Okay, I'll take that out. Never mind.
So yeah. Sorry that I feel like I spoke so much about myself in this
Normally
episode.
I dominate speaking, so I think it's a change of
pace.
I have
energy. I have the energy today for some reason.
I
think that's why. I feel so limber.
You need a weekly massage.
Everybody use your medical benefits, okay? Yeah. Don't let that go to waste. And don't let it go to the next year, because that don't...
I need to book my eye exam for real, so I'm not
for real. Book your eye exam, book your dental exam, book your, doctor's visits so that you can get prescription medication if you need to.
Mm-hmm. But I think...
your chiro, physio...
I think all in all, the journeys that you've been on, the things that you had to go through, all the ordeals you went through before, it's like, it builds you up to, like, where you are now.
Absolutely.
It's like,
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, I'm thinking about like marriage and all that kind of stuff because I have to make the move. So it's like the ball is really in like my court, and it's more pressure on me now. But like, am I afraid? No. Am I shy about it? No. Do I know how I'm gonna do it? Yes. Do I know when I'm gonna do it? Yes. Problem is
I'm not
that
asking.
I need to get my ducks in a row in other places that are outside of this relationship.
Yeah.
More like,
Because, you're still a whole different person.
right.
You're still, not a whole different person, a whole other person
Right.
in a relationship. So,
Like you
still
still
have your
have
own.
the world still happens outside the relationship.
Yeah.
Like you still pay bills. You still have to account for certain assets in your life, certain liabilities in your life that are like, they're out there. You have to account for those. So once everything's like phased and planned and orderly, then it's like, yeah, perfect. Like it'll be fine. So I ain't got no cold feet. I just like being prepared.
Should we end it there?
Yeah, sounds a good place to end it.
Sorry, I'm looking at the timer.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think we'll probably have way more story times. We'll sprinkle in here and there.
Oh yeah.
Because I think this is a really good topic. It shows, like, how we got to where we are at with each other.
And the people that we had to
and what
deal
we had
with.
to go through. Yeah, exactly.
Oh
So
boy.
I think this is a very, very good topic. And thank you to Christian.
Thanks, Chun.
For giving us that idea, because we were just going to go on and talk about random things.
Right.
Until, we were eventually going to talk about ourselves, but...
And shout out to Christian. We know you're waiting for an episode. It's my boy.
Yeah. Thank you once again for tuning in for another episode of Date Night In Podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah, there'll be more. Even though that story gonna give me trauma tonight, but I'll get over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We'll sprinkle in more. So, till next time.
We'll see you guys.
Yeah.
Bye. All right, that's it.
Yep.